We begin with the headlines. Nigeria launches landmark tax reforms to boost economy and transparency. American Open University launches skill scholarship to boost digital careers in Nigeria. Nigeria confirms return to Venice BIENNALE 2028. African farmers to benefit from $16.61 million agricultural innovation program, and away from Africa, Middle East erupts as US and Israel strike Iran. In business, NIEA to deploy 100 billion naira hybrid mini-grids for government agencies in 2026. And in health, NAFDAC orders immediate withdrawal of multi-dose malaria suspension. And in sport, Barcelona face VILLARREAL in crucial La Liga title test. Now the news in full. Nigeria has unveiled its most extensive tax reform in decades aimed at simplifying the system, eliminating overlapping levies and promoting fairness for businesses and citizens. The reforms driven by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu are anchored in 4 key laws, including the Nigeria Tax Act and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act, establishing a unified and modern tax framework. Olusegun Adesokan, Executive Secretary of the Joint Revenue Board, said the initiative collapses nearly 60 taxes and levies into 9 clear categories, standardizes electronic payments, and removes unauthorized collections such as roadside levies. 12 states have already adopted harmonization laws, with more in the legislative process. Ensuring consistency across the country, officials stress that predictable, transparent taxation will improve investor confidence, reduce corruption, and support sustainable economic growth. The reforms also aim to enhance public trust by linking tax revenue to essential services like roads, schools, and hospitals, ultimately creating a fair, coordinated system to drive national development. Moving on, American Open University Nigeria A Global has launched the Skill Scholarship, a merit-based financial aid program designed to support talent Nigerians pursuing careers in high-demand digital fields. The scholarship, which stands for Scholarships for Knowledge, Innovation, Leadership and Learning, targets students with proven financial need to ensure that economic barriers do not block access to education in areas like software engineering, data science, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and technology entrepreneurship. The acting Vice-Chancellor, Dr. David Sheyi Akambi, explained that the scholarship evaluates candidates using a 100-point skill scorecard, which considers financial need, technical knowledge, innovation through project portfolios, leadership potential, and commitment to continuous learning. The initiative offers 3 levels of tuition support: the Titan Award covering 100%, the Innovator Grant covering 50%, and the Access Bursary covering 25% depending on the applicant's potential and financial situation. Applications for the upcoming academic session are now open, requiring candidates to complete a technical assessment, submit a portfolio of projects, and present a video pitch. The university said the Skill Scholarship is part of its broader mission to expand equitable access to technology-driven higher education, cultivate future innovators, and strengthen Nigeria's digital economy. Nigeria has confirmed its participation in the 62nd International Art Exhibition La Biennale de Venezia in 2028, marking the country's return to the prestigious global art platform. The Federal Ministry of Arts and Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy announced that the initiative will be coordinated under its Nigeria Everywhere program aimed at strengthening governance, sustainable funding, and long-term cultural diplomacy outcomes. The government appointed Richard Vedelago as curator of the Nigeria Pavilion to ensure high curatorial standards, foster international collaboration, and build stronger institutional planning ahead of the exhibition. Officials highlighted that the pavilion will showcase the diversity of Nigerian creativity while amplifying Africa's presence in global art conversations. Preparations for the 2028 showcase will follow a phased approach, including governance reforms, partnerships with international museums, engagement with the Nigerian diaspora, and collaboration with private sector stakeholders. The early confirmation reflects Nigeria's ambition to consolidate its cultural diplomacy efforts and establish sustainable cultural institutions that extend beyond the single exhibition cycle. Still in Africa, the African Development Bank and the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture have launched a $16.61 million grant to fund the third phase of the Technologies for African Agricultural Transformation (TAT3) program. The signing, held on February 18 this year in Abuja, aims to scale climate-resilient technologies, strengthen seed systems, and expand collaboration among governments, research institutions, and private sector partners across Africa. Countries including Nigeria, Sudan, Ethiopia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe have recorded significant yield increases, with Nigeria's wheat farmers doubling their output using improved heat-tolerant varieties. TAT3 will expand the program's reach to an additional 14 million farmers in 37 low-income and vulnerable countries. The initiative will promote private sector involvement, digital tools for real-time monitoring, and rapid deployment of high-impact agricultural solutions, aiming to build long-term
with high upfront costs and requires maintenance. The RPA market is expected to grow from $1.89 billion in 2020 to $13.74 billion by 2028. But companies must balance automation with potential job losses.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Idea TV Midday News. Now, the rest of the news. Away from Africa, the United States and Israel have launched a joint military attack on Iran, with multiple explosions reported across Tehran and other parts of the country on the 28th of February 2026. Missiles struck areas including Investor Street and the Jamhuri districts in the Iranian capital, while additional blasts were reported in northern Tehran and western Lam province. Smoke was seen rising over the city as cell phone communications were disrupted in several neighborhoods. U.S. President Donald Trump said the operation was aimed at eliminating what he described as imminent threats from the Iranian regime and protecting American citizens. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the strikes were designed to remove what he called an existential threat. The attacks were reportedly carried out by air and sea following months of military planning amid tensions over Iran's nuclear program. In response, Iran signaled it is preparing strong retaliation, warning of a crushing response. Sirens sounded across Israel shortly after the strikes began as the country activated its air defense systems to intercept incoming missiles. Israeli airspace was closed, the state of emergency declared, and diplomatic missions in parts of the region advised citizens to shelter in place, raising fears of a wider regional conflict. In business news now, Nigeria's Rural Electrification Agency will spend 100 billion naira in 2026 to install hybrid mini-grid systems for government agencies within and outside Abuja. The managing director, Abba Aliyu, disclosed this during the agency's 2026 budget defense before the House Committee on Rural Electrification in Abuja, stating that the allocation forms part of a broader 170 billion naira budget proposal for the year. The funding will support the National Public Sector Solarization Program, aimed at improving electricity reliability for public institutions while cutting operational costs and easing pressure on the national grid. Aliyu said the hybrid systems will combine solar power with complementary energy sources to ensure uninterrupted supply, citing the National Hospital in Abuja as an example where similar infrastructure has improved power stability and reduced expenses. Beyond the solarization initiative, the agency's 2026 plan includes more than 500 electrification projects nationwide, ranging from grid extensions and transformer deployment to mini-grids for farming clusters and solar home systems to remote communities. The move aligns with ongoing renewable energy partnerships and federal efforts to expand off-grid electricity access across Nigeria. And now, in health news, Nigeria's drug regulator, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, has ordered the immediate withdrawal of all multi-dose artemether lumefantrine dry powder for oral suspension still in circulation across the country. The agency says the product is no longer approved for registration, importation or use, despite reports that it is still being dispensed to patients. In a public notice, NAFDAC directed manufacturers and importers to switch production to dispersible tablets or single-dose sachets. It warned that stability studies show reconstituted anti-malaria suspensions lost effectiveness over time, raising the risks of treatment failure, complications, and in severe cases, death. The directive applies to all brands of the multi-dose oral suspension currently in the market. NAFDAC has instructed its zonal directors and state coordinators to intensify surveillance and remove affected products nationwide, while healthcare providers, distributors, and retailers have been ordered to immediately stop the importation, sale, and use of the medicine as part of broader efforts to curb the circulation of unsafe and substandard drugs in Nigeria. Finally, in sports news, FC Barcelona hosted Villarreal CF today at Spotify Camp Nou in a key La Liga encounter that could shape the title race. Kickoff is set for 4:15 p.m. CET, with Barcelona currently leading the table on 61 points, just one ahead of rivals Real Madrid CF, while Villarreal sits third. Barcelona remains unbeaten at home in the league this season, but recent history suggests caution. The Catalan side have won just one of their last 4 home league meetings against Villarreal, drawing or losing the other 3, making this clash far from straightforward despite the strong form. Fans are expecting influential performances from Rafinha and Lamine Yamal as Barcelona aim to maintain their slim advantage at the top. Pundits currently give the Blaugrana a 73% chance of victory, with the team also looking to carry momentum into the upcoming Copa del Rey semi-final. And that's all we have for you on Idea TV Midday News. But before we go, here is a recap of the headlines. We brought you news that Nigeria launches landmark tax reforms to boost economy and transparency. An American Open University launches skills scholarship to boost digital careers in Nigeria. Nigeria confirms return to VENICE Biennale 2028. African farmers to benefit from $16.61 million agricultural innovation program. And away from Africa, Middle East erupts as U.S. and Israel strike Iran. In business, NREA to deploy 100 billion naira hybrid mini-grids for government agencies in 2026. And in health, NAFDAC orders immediate withdrawal of multi-dose malaria suspension. And sports, Barcelona face Villarreal in crucial La Liga title test. Now, do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea Television. I am Cynthia Basi. Thank you for watching.